welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have Mr. Frank Candido who came by. Mr. Candido, thank you for passing by.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. So, Mr. Candido, in your last interview, you said you had $4 million in cash. Actually, how much did GoldenHope this year, in 2011, spend on exploration?
Last year we spent approximately about $4 million.
All your cash?
Yeah, we spent the cash. We had an extensive exploration program that got started a little late, but no, we were going full guns. In fact, we had 2 drills turning for the first time in the history of the company. So we had quite a program going.
Okay, so you continue to drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Do you think, because there are a lot of companies who are next to you, like Fan Camp Exploration, Balmore Exploration, which Osiscore has a stake in it.
Yeah.
Do you plan to form partnership with those companies or to be able to help you raise some funds?
No, I don't foresee any partnerships, but the thing is with us is that because we're in southeastern Quebec, it's always a much harder job because it's not a known area.
Okay.
I mean, there's historical things about southeastern Quebec, but that's where it ends.
Okay.
So we're happy that these companies are there. Fan Camp, Beaumore, there's another company, GWR, very happy.
Okay.
Although Fan Camp and Beaumore haven't said very much, GWR, in fact, has been drilling or has drilled, in fact, near us, and they're pending results. And we wish them success because if we're successful or they're successful, it's going to help us both. So, southeastern Quebec has its challenges because it's not a known area, but I think GoldenHope is taking the steps to put it on the map once and for all. So I think this is going to be a very exciting year.
Okay, excellent. And in 2011, you said that you used, like I looked at an interview, you said that you use bulk sampling mostly.
Yeah.
Is that true? Why bulk sampling?
Yeah.
What is it?
What we did was we took bulk samples.
Okay.
And the reason we took bulk samples is because we have a nuggety element to our deposit.
Okay.
And when you have a nuggety element, if you with a diameter that we're drilling, if you hit a nugget and you're lucky, then you get very high spiky value, and if you don't, then you can get 0 values. So what we did, we took some bulk samples, or large samples, we like to call them, and we demonstrated that when we take larger samples, that it looks like we can actually increase the grade significantly by taking an adequate sample.
Okay.
But today I brought something interesting. I mean, it's a little show and tell kind of thing. But I brought some core, right? In fact, if you put these 2 pieces together, that's the core.
Okay.
That's what we drill in the ground, and then we cut them in half. So this happens to be from the hole that we announced of 6,000 plus grams. So here's some nuggety gold. I don't know if you can actually see it, and visible gold we call it.
Yeah.
And it's you can actually see it with your eye. It's pretty large. And in fact, we also announced this year that we had done a total gold test, which is we took this, pulverized it, and then we saw how much gold we can recover from it. And of course, our numbers were outstanding. We recovered 99.6%, up to 99.6% of the gold. But interesting thing is that we recovered a significant amount, over 80%, sometimes up to 85% of gold just from gravity. And there you have it. Yeah. So that's the gold, and I've got plenty of these samples, but here's one as an example of the gold that gets recovered. So we've got a lot of positive things going for us. In terms of metallurgy, we don't have any metallurgical issues. In terms of where we are, in terms of the fact that we've had success with the drilling, and we keep moving forward. So so far so good.
Excellent. I just want to have your view on the market, because the Fed announced that they want to maintain their interest rate low. So do you see this as a positive news that could help you, maybe help you finance your project with the gold spot price, which which we could expect to rise?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a bit agnostic towards the price of gold. I'll be honest with you. I'm a bull when it comes to gold, but the fact of the matter is I don't watch day trading in gold or watch the price fluctuations from day to day. I think gold will go higher. So obviously the prices of gold where they are today have helped a lot of companies, projects that may not have been interesting 5 years ago be a lot more interesting today. For us, I don't believe that gold is going back to $500 an ounce. In fact, I'm not, and I don't base it based on $1,700 gold either. So, we're looking at, $1,000 to $1,200 gold, if you can make it a go at there, then you should be okay. So, I'm not sure if I've actually answered the question, but I'm bullish gold, but I don't, I'm not really following it day to day. The fact is, I think we've got potentially the economics around this deposit to make it quite interesting, and we're only scratching the surface.
Because you're talking about economics, I know you're still an exploration company, but the key will be to have this 43-101 compliant resource report. So you have taken some steps to be able to acquire, to make that happen.
Right.
You've hired SGS, also Geneva, but it's mostly for the environmental study.
That's right.
So tell us two questions. Tell us first of all, when do you intend to publish it?
Right.
And how's the relation going with SGS? Are they on time with what the mandate you give them?
Right. So let me start with question 2 and then question 1.
Okay.
The relationship with SGS is excellent. In fact, the SGS, which was Geostat here in Quebec, when SGS acquired them, we've had a great relationship, and they're going to be the authors of the 43-101.
Okay.
The way a 43-101 works is it's you draw a line in the sand. You pick a day and you say, okay, on this day we're going to take the data that we have and we're going to formulate a resource around that.
Okay.
So we haven't drawn the line in the sand. Our objective is to have it in Q1. So Q1 ends March 31st.
Okay.
It takes about 2 weeks to come out with a number, and then 45 days you have to publish a report. So we're close, obviously. We have some holes that we'd like to see come in before we draw that line in the sand. But what it really is it's a first big step for GoldenHope. Okay. It's a resource estimate, but it's the beginning of what we think will be many other updates to that resource estimate. I mean, gold didn't just happen in this 500 by 500 square meter area. Okay. We think it's happened all over the area, geologically speaking. We have a number of environments too. Okay. For example, we've announced the Champagne historical deposit, which is a VMS deposit. It's got gold, silver, copper, zinc, lead, etc. I mean, if we're successful in the drilling that we did there, all of a sudden GoldenHope goes from a 1 type deposit company to a 2 type deposit company, both in the same belt. So really, at the end of the day, the 43-101 is a means of actually putting some value, hard value on the company. Because let's face it, in 2010, you saw it, I was here. In 2011, our stock went from 8 cents to 98 cents on lots of volume, but it really was the GoldenHope. It was based on a lot of hope. And what we're trying to do is make some of that reality by coming out with a resource. And let me make one thing clear. The resource is really important, not just from the point of view of GoldenHope, but for the region. It's the first resource ever published by GoldenHope, obviously, and it will be the first resource in modern day history for the region. So I think that this is a big step for us and the region.
Excellent. You're talking about the region. Because I know, sometimes mining companies with the local populations, they need to be really close to the local population. So sometimes those protests can delay your plans.
Right.
So how is your relation between the local population there? Are they supporting you? Are they against you?
Yeah. Well, I'm the only Italian in the boat, so I just want to make that clear. So they're pretty happy with me so far. No, we've got an excellent communication with the area.
Okay.
Every year we host these town hall meetings where we go to the churches, we invite people from the different towns, and we tell them what we're doing. GoldenHope's been there a long time, but really since 2007, we've been working and spending a considerable amount of money, and we hire everybody locally as much as we can. So we've spent most of the money, contrary to popular belief, didn't go to me. It actually went into the area, into the towns around there, etc. And so we've spent most of our money in southeastern Quebec. So we're viewed as a great corporate citizen, and we're very proactive. We've had no issues whatsoever. Zero.
But in terms of the 43-101, because you're telling me you're going to bet a lot on this because that's going to be the concrete, but it doesn't stop there. So do you intend, after publishing this, which will be a premiere in the region, would you intend to find a potential buyer to be able to take you, or would you like GoldenHope to transform itself into a mining company? Because it's different exploration from a mining company.
Very interesting questions. No, I'm not looking for a buyer. At a $30 million market cap, it's the last thing I want. I mean, what kind of premium am I going to get for the shareholders, of which I am one of them? So no, we're not looking for a buyer. In terms of mining it, listen, it's a little bit early to discuss mining it, but there's been some, let's just call it, some conversations around that idea, and we'll probably hash that out more as we go forward. But for now, it'd be a little premature for me to say anything. So, but the potential exists.
The potential, if the potential exists, could it be an open pit mine, or?
Again, I don't want to get into details, especially not when I'm being recorded. But no, but we're looking at that as a potential avenue going forward. So, but for now, we're an exploration company defining a resource, and we believe that we have the opportunity to increase that resource significantly with continued drilling. So remember one thing: we're drilling currently. We're already on our 6th hole. We never drilled in the month of January. We haven't stopped drilling, except for the Christmas break. So there'll be holes from 2011 that won't make it into the resource, and there'll be plenty of holes from 2012 which won't be in the resource. But at some point in time, we'll have to look at updating that. But we've got our work cut out for us, and we're just moving forward.
Okay. Let's make a scenario. Let's say that everything is positive, that you're able to build a mine. Actually speaking, in the current environment, the infrastructures, are they ready there to be able, of course, to receive plant or to receive a...
Okay, well, let's look at the positives and the negatives. The positives are, we both live in Montreal. It's a 3.5-hour drive to the property.
Okay.
There's I drive my car right onto the property. There's roads, hydroelectricity, water, everything's there. The negative is it's not a gold region. So because it's not a gold region, we don't have mines within 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, etc. So from that point of view, there's none of that type of infrastructure really, but all the other basic infrastructure is there. So it's positive, and there's obviously some drawbacks from the point of view. Like a perfect example of that bulk sample, the large bulk sample we did. In a perfect world, we could have taken all that and shipped it to a mill and milled it, but it's a distance from there to Val d'Or. So,
excellent. I understand. So, in terms of strength, I understand that you put a lot of emphasis on good governance. You want to show your shareholders that GoldenHope is a company that is taking governance seriously. You hired recently Mr. Boivin as the new CFO. What's the mandate you have given Mr. Boivin?
Well, interesting you should say that, because last year when I was here, we talked about the board and the moves we made on the board and why we made those moves. GoldenHope has a very long history. Mr. Boivin is just an extension of that. He worked at 3M, long career at 3M. Obviously, he's a qualified CFO, and it really is a matter of making sure that all of the money is accounted for, that we know exactly how much money we're spending, where we are every single day. It's really just a matter of having the proper financial controls on the company. So we decided we needed to step that up, and Mr. Boivin filled that role, and he's doing an excellent job.
Excellent. In 30 seconds, Mr. Frank Candido, 2 reasons why an investor should follow a company.
Well, there are many more than 2, but if you only give me 2, listen, we're in a brand new, if you want to diversify in gold, we actually offer diversification within Quebec, which is incredible. We're a brand new region, and we're going to put that region on the map. So to me, that's the number 1 reason. Number 2, we're on the verge of a resource, and we think that the resource is just scratching the surface. Number 3, we have a number of different environments on the property, and we think that we have the potential of actually furthering those environments within the next little while. So there's a lot to come, and I think the really good stuff's just starting.
Thank you, Mr. Candido, and don't forget to always come by for another interview.
Love to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks.